Hey, what up, everybody? I guess it's your boy Jay Wall back. Everybody know with the Cosmically powerful Blerd, been collecting comic books for 30 years. Today I got my man Kilowatt with me for season 2. We're gonna go over some things. We talk about all things Marvel, DC, whatever's in that universe, and my man gonna give some psychological profiles in some later episodes. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about, and people probably already know that if they watch season 1, is the greatest superhero teams ever. Everybody know what I'm going to say. The first family of Marvel, Reed Richards, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, Ben Grimm, and Susan, right? Fantastic Four. And you know they're the greatest because anytime somebody puts the greatest from the company, like Marvel wrote it on the, so if you go get an old Fantastic Four comic book and you look at it, it's gonna say the greatest on there, right? And they only do that for the greatest, right? And as we talk about people, and as we get into some later episodes, we're gonna talk about, black characters and everything. So what you'll learn is that the first mainstream black superhero was introduced in what? Fantastic Four number 52, King T'Challa, Black Panther. Right? And so if you ain't checked out that comic book, go. You can find it online. Check it out. It's Fantastic Four number 52. I can list all the reasons on why Marvel's Fantastic Four is the greatest superhero team of all time. But I'm gonna leave this to Kilowatt and let him jump in.
Because as much as I would agree that it is one of the greatest superhero teams of all time, I think about the second generation of Marvel superhero teams, which is the X-Men.
Okay. Reason
being is because X-Men speaks to the diversity as well as the intersectionality of all people. Therefore, they address all the issues on a national, international, global, cosmic level. And they're able to actually, and the fact that you just named off literally the team itself, which is those 4 individuals. Now, you get people coming in and out, changing roles, and some people stepping off, but the X-Men is, I don't know, do you know how many X-Men there are?
A lot.
Which means that the availability of having a lot is the availability to address the majority of a lot of issues. The more issues that can be addressed. Where I see the Fantastic Four address larger issues, but sometimes the more minute issues is not necessarily on their list.
So, I agree with you. I like the X-Men. Don't get me wrong. But you can't dismiss the origins. That's like Da Vinci. That's like the dismissing Da Vinci.
Oh no,
right?
No, I'm not.
So when you talk about the intersectionality, the large platform, or even being international or global themes, it all relates back to the Fantastic Four,
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
There would be no X-Men without no Fantastic. There would be no Marvel without the Fantastic Four. These characters that we love, and I know one of your favorite characters, Victor Von Doom.
Absolutely.
There would be no Victor. There would be no Black Panther.
I get it.
Right? There would be no Silver. We all love Silver Surfer, man. Norman Rad. Man, Zenla, you can't beat that. Galactus, who? It's Galactus.
You can't beat it.
You would not have, exactly.
They all come from Fantastic Four. And the fact that they come from the Fantastic Four, speaking to the origins of it, we wouldn't have all this, but that doesn't make them the best, though. Like, we wouldn't have all this stuff. I understand we wouldn't have all this stuff.
Who saved the universe? Who saved the multiverse more times than Reed Richards?
Who was also almost doomed it.
That wasn't my question.
Oh, but I'm saying.
No. Answer my question, though.
Okay.
Who has saved the multiverse more than Reed Richards? I'll wait. I'm gonna grab this coat. I'm gonna wait.
I don't know. I don't know who saved it as much as Reed Richards, because Reed Richards has also complicated the multiverse more than anybody. I mean, do we need to talk about Kang?
I said who say? See now
See, look.
you doing off ramps.
Oh, I'm not trying to do off ramps. Okay, I'll put it this way. You know how they talk about Batman having the Batman paradox, right? Can we talk about a Fantastic Four paradox here? That the fact that even what you just said, the fact that we wouldn't have Victor Von Doom, we wouldn't have Galactus. No, we wouldn't have a character that is an entity that eats worlds. We wouldn't have that. No, we wouldn't. So it begs the question: is the Fantastic Four the greatest, or the cause of most of the calamity in which the X-Men have to face?
But I think that's an overall question for heroes.
Look, I'm just playing.
If there wasn't a hero, then would there be a? That's a chicken and an egg kind of question, though.
But I think that's what we're playing with, though, when we play with the question of the best superhero team, because it is the chicken and egg. Because if I was to sit here and say just X-Men being second generation, the issues in which have come here, I'll say the story arcs that have come out of X-Men, even so much as X-Men being not necessarily the hero in this situation, often sometimes playing the anti-hero, even sometimes the villain when you look at like X-Men versus the Avengers or things like that. But I'm thinking more in the sense of like which ones are the best, like which is who is addressing much to the same effect as you said with Reed Richards, like who has saved the multiverse as many times, but who has saved the cosmos, who has addressed the issues, who's done the cleanup. I'll put it that way.
I'm saying I am interested. I think you're great if you saved my life.
I couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you saved my life, I'm gonna give you for an example the Secret Wars, the original Secret Wars, where Beyonder came here, and you know, if it wasn't for again, fantastic. I'll take it back even further. Let me go back further. When originally Galactus came to what is Earth 616, and he was going to consume the planet, right? The Watcher talked to who? The Fantastic Four. Now the whole Earth about to be destroyed. Listen. So the whole Earth about to be destroyed. So that would have eliminated all the stuff. The X-Men, the whole world about to be destroyed. The Watcher comes. And they divide the plan with Reed Richards. They sent Johnny Storm to come back with the ultimate nullifier before people didn't even know what the ultimate nullifier was. And Fantastic Four saved the world. It wasn't the X-Men, wasn't none of them, right?
Okay.
And so had that not happened, so if there was no let's say so there's no Fantastic Four, that would have been the end of Earth 616.
That would have been the end of Earth 616. I agree. Okay.
So, people could wake up every day and, oh man, boy, if they didn't go get that ultimate nullifier, man, I don't think we'd be here today. Because they wouldn't.
Okay.
They would not be there.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. I get it, where you're coming from. So my only counter. Is that yes, none of this stuff would be here, but it speaks to the paradox of their existence.
I see that, and I think that's complicated. Honestly, I think we should address that in another episode.
That's a whole other thing.
Because it really does become, would all of these things happen at the Baxter Building in the city on Earth if it wasn't for them?
I agree. I agree.
Like that's a great.
Yeah,
that's a great question.
Because I understand I'm using the paradox question on both sides, on just looking at the Fantastic Four, but also looking at the X-Men too. I mean, there's a lot of paradoxical issues that come out of the X-Men as well, especially with Onslaught, with
oh yeah, Lord.
Yes. So
Apocalypse,
yeah.
Days of Future Past, Executioner, all of those. Yeah.
So I think I think where I was looking at the best superhero team is I was just thinking more in the aspect of expansive, and I see where you're at when you're talking about origins and how it's actually been addressed. Like how has the issues that have been brought to Earth 616 been addressed? Who's the first line of defense that they usually go to? Okay, I give you.
And who shaped the multiverse?
I get that too.
It's one team. I'm sorry, it just is. It just is. And I give utmost 100% respect to the X-Men. I love the X-Men, especially Wolverine. That's my dude. I love the X-Men. But if you want to talk about what one group of superheroes have shaped Earth 616 since its inception, and if we step outside of the comic universe to practicality, Fantastic Four saved Marvel as an organization. We couldn't even debate who's better if Marvel ceased to exist, right? And so, to me, that means something. Like that, that's why you're the greatest, right? I'm like Muhammad Ali. Like you shaped the whole. That's why you're the. Did you win all the boxing matches? At the end, you got your ass whooped a lot. But still, when people say who's the greatest, right? It's because you shaped this. You helped build this space. If it wasn't for you, a lot of this wouldn't ever happen.
Okay.
And that allows us to have common sense debates about who's best. But we couldn't have them without this group, this team.
I get that. I mean, I see your point. You speaking to the origins of origins, and even so much as the saving of Marvel itself. I get that, and I think that where I look, if we were talking on an individual basis, then I would go, okay, Blade didn't save the Marvel universe, but going off the rails there just for a second. I look at X-Men being the thing that continues to progress the Marvel universe.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that.
So, but that is also my reasoning for why I say that they're the best. Not because they're the origin, because they continue to progress. They continue to keep it going. It would be the same as, I don't know, debating the changes in which McDonald's made. Now, we can say that their first burger, the Big Mac, was the best. I mean, it created all these other burgers and created all these other products. But the thing that's keeping McDonald's going, or keeping the franchise going, is the new products in which they have to produce. X-Men is the one producing that new product, whereas the Reed Richards and even the dynamic within the Fantastic Fours, you get caught in sitcom. You get caught in the sitcom trope where how many times is Sue Richards gonna leave Reed Richards?
I mean, everybody has marital problems. Everybody got relationship problems.
How many times? Like, your mortal enemy named your daughter.
I mean,
and you live with it. I mean, but I'm getting into the internal aspect of it. But yeah, the best though. The best.
I think they're the best. And if I had to rank, X-Men would be number 2. I agree for diversity, to bringing in the mainstream and what's happening in the story. Yes, but you couldn't have that progression without an origin point.
True story.
Right.
Yeah. This is where I would say I can agree to disagree.
All right, that works. And so, let us know what you decide. Leave some comments. Let us know who you think the greatest. Is it X-Men? Is it Fantastic Four? I mean, is it the lead? It could be anybody, like whoever you think of. Next time we're going to talk about, since we talked about Fantastic Four introduction into some black characters, we'll talk about maybe a black character that you never heard of. First mainstream African-American hero, Lobo, before the Lobo that you've seen in Marvels. This one was from, I believe, December 1st, 1965. All right, we'll be back. Thanks.